Hey everyone, John Henry here, and today in the market psychology video, really interesting movement here on crude oil, inventory day, if you couldn't tell by that gargantuan candle in the middle there, but the way that it played out, just picture perfect in terms of just everything, right? We ended the day yesterday with a nice little wedge working its way higher. They broke out of the wedge, they tried to go lower, failed, and came right back up to the top. Now, really what the buyers or sellers want to see is us not to open up near this area. We want to get away from that area because that's an area of resistance, right? Going across the highs there, that's the last place that you want to see an open, at least for the buyers, because the sellers are probably going to sell it. Well, guess where we opened up, right? Almost exactly on that level. All of the buyers that were in this at the end of the day yesterday were very likely going to get out there, just given the fact of where we are. That's a huge chunk of resistance that's been holding for an entire day. And now we're back there and we open right up on the level and start seeing bearishness. There's no way a buyer is going to hang on to that. And look how bearish that candle was. Absolutely gargantuan bear candle to the downside. That's the type of candle that is going to look to double up on itself. It's going to want to go down about the same distance of that initial spike, right? So you have that initial spike right there. So it's going to want to drive lower about that same distance because mathematically speaking, for the sellers who sold up here, that's just going to make sense. They're looking to get targets that make their trade worthwhile. So we have a beautiful sell underneath here looking for a continued drive lower down to that area. Now, before we fell down all the way to that target area, which we definitely did, we had a beautiful drive all the way down into that location, we had the buyers trying to sweep in again. Huge bull candle right here, giving them the possible trigger. We're coming off of a huge area of support, lots of things telling the buyers, hey, you might want to get in this, guys, right? We might be going back up to the highs, while the bears are still holding short, looking for those targets. So they're kind of fighting against the river. The sellers immediately shut that move down, but when the sellers try to get continuation, they get hung up on that same price level and we get kind of stuck there for a little bit. So the buyers see this as an opportunity and they try buying higher, but look at that candle, right? Does that give you the confidence to be a buyer? No, if you did buy, that gives you the confidence to get the heck out of the trade because you're probably wrong. So a lot of buyers are going to put their stops underneath that low, knowing that, well, if it's going to go, I'll get my target. If it's not going to go, I'm not going to hang on to this thing. And that's exactly what happened, right? Sellers shut the move down again, breaks underneath that level, creates a beautiful bear candle along the way. And that is another good reason, knowing that the buyers are getting out and knowing that the sellers are getting in, whether it's buyers exiting or new sellers entering, looking for a drive down to that area of support. And that's exactly where it went, to the tick, actually. And then we start seeing some fading. Now that goes into the news. And really the news is kind of a tough one, right? Trying to catch this kind of move can really be a double-edged sword. If you're on the right side of it, then you make a lot of money. But if you're on the wrong side of it, you end up getting a huge amount of slippage and nobody wants to deal with that. So best to sit on hands there. And now we're seeing the buyers continue this rally higher on that huge upswing movement. But just a gorgeous day and a good example of how to treat these types of days when you know that you have huge news coming out. We're opening up directly on an area of resistance. We see the buyers fail and fail and fail again, shove it right down in their face, and you get a beautiful move down. So just a gorgeous example of technicals mixed with market psychology. So if you have any questions about it, feel free to shoot an email in. Hopefully you found it useful. Hopefully you found it interesting, and we'll see you next time.